we'll get started now. We are going to have door prize, and Tom's making sure we have everybody's name. So the topic of this is, did you know that your iPhone and iPad could do that? Because there's some things that they can do that we don't necessarily know about because it's so hard to keep up with all the new stuff. It comes out so fast. So if anybody has a question as we go, don't hesitate to ask. The first thing we're going to talk about is the magnifying glass feature, which all of us probably need. And it's nice because you can always have it with you. So to turn it on, if you're using iOS 13, go to Settings, Accessibility Magnifier. And if you're in iOS 11 or 12, go to Settings, General Accessibility and Magnifier. So y'all go ahead and, if you have your machines, turn that on.
Accessibility Magnifier. Mine is off. I think yours is on. I think we did yours. Go to the settings. See.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Your magnifier's on. Yeah.
Anybody not ready?
Well, I'm not ready.
Okay. Say when you are.
Okay. I forget which iOS I'm on this.
Well, you can always look up in the corner under the Apple menu.
Okay, I'm on 12.
Okay. So use the second option.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. We're just waiting for Jill, I think.
Okay.
All right. So when you're using it, and this is on either the phone or the iPad, you open the camera app and you just, and wait a minute, I can't see too well. Okay, you don't need to open the camera app. Just press the home button 3 times in succession, or if you don't have a home button, press the on and off button 3 times. And then if you get this box that's showing here on the right, then click on magnifier. If you don't have hearing aids or any other kind of device that helps you, you won't see that. But if you do, just make sure you click on magnifier. All right. So here's how it works. The hardest thing for me to read with my eyes, one of the hardest things, is the back of credit cards. I have to get out a big magnifying glass to read what's on these things. And so that's what I use for an example to show you how it works. And one on the left is what it looks like if you're trying to look at it with your eyes. And the long one on the right is what you can do with your magnifying glass just by turning on the magnifier on your phone and holding it over whatever it is that you want to see. And this will work in restaurants if you're trying to read menus. It'll work. We assume that you're always going to have your phone with you. And I don't carry my magnifying glass around with me. It's too big. So I find this to be delightful. You can change the magnification level with the yellow button. And you even can take a picture of whatever it is you're magnifying if you need to have something to go back and reference. And it's easy as that. That's all you have to do to use the magnifier. So is anybody trying it? Nobody's tried it?
I have used it many times. I was helping Tommy with our our garage doors, and he couldn't, of course, see them, and so I couldn't, but I could take a picture of it and make it bigger, and so I used it before.
Yeah,
And that's how I did it.
it's really cool, isn't it?
Yes, it's very
Yes.
helpful.
So remember that, and once you have it on, it's on. And so you may not need it for, some time, but it's going to be there. And all you have to do is press those buttons 3 times in a row and you've got your magnifier. Okay, that's the magnifier. Now we're going to talk about the iPhone and iPad lock screen widgets. And you probably see these things all the time and you don't realize that that's what the widgets are. This is just an example of what some of them look like. So if you're on your phone, this is what the widgets look like. And has everybody seen this at some time or other? Because you get to this just by scrolling to from the right on your phone to the left. Does this look familiar?
Yes.
Okay. So the cool thing is that you decide what's going to be here. I mean, when you get your phone, it comes with 4 or 5 or 6 of them set up. But it may be set up for the stock thing, and you couldn't care less about the stocks, or it may be set up for the news, or maybe you don't get your news digitally anyhow. So this is what it's going to look like in both your iPad and your iPhone. All you do is you just scroll from the right to left, and you're going to get this screen to show up. So if you want to make changes, it's real easy. Way down at the bottom, there's an edit button. Okay? And with that edit button, you get to determine what's going to show up there. And I'm going to go to one more screen and show you how this works. So here's a list. This is a partial list of the widgets that you can have. And the ones that have the minus sign beside them are actually the ones that are there, that you can see as your widgets. And at the bottom of the screen, the ones with the plus signs are the ones that you can choose to add. Now, first thing I did was take off the stocks. The second thing I did was rearrange what's here. I want to be able to check the weather real fast. I want to be able to see the news, because I get my news a lot. You may want to have your batteries up there so that you can, although the battery shows you up there in the top right corner, you see your battery, but for some reason you may want to, and you may want your calendar. If you are, when life returns to normal, if you're out and about all the time and you need to get to your calendar, instead of hunting for the app on your phone or your iPad, it can be right there.
Well, I don't know where they're at.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Was there a question?
No.
Okay.
No.
So if you want to move any of the ones from the top, you just click on the minus sign and move them down. And the same thing with the plus signs, you click on it and you just move it up. And over here on the right, where the text says this is the move symbol, those 3 little lines, that lets you move things in order. So if the first thing that you want to see is the news, like I have on mine, then you can put that at the top. Okay, does that make sense?
So you can move them around.
Yeah, this is your thing. And I all the time I've been using an iPhone with these widgets on there, I never knew that I had the option, and maybe I didn't at the beginning, but I didn't know I had the option to set these up the way I wanted to. And I'm here moving my hands like y'all could see them. So just imagine I'm moving my hands. So, and then be sure when you get through doing all that, that you go up here and click done, because if you don't, it won't get saved. So are there any questions?
Nancy, I had to take a phone call. How do you get into that widgets?
Okay, are you using your phone or your iPad?
No, I've got my phone.
Okay, if you are scroll from the right to the left on your phone, and you should see this. Let's see if I can get back. How do I get back? Okay, you'll see this window, like this in this big window here on the right. That's your widgets.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and down at the bottom, you'll have to scroll down to get to it, is the edit button that lets you make those changes.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you.
Right? Oh, sure.
And you can move them, you could rearrange them the way you want them.
Yes.
Like
you rearrange
if you
it.
want your calendar first, you can put your calendar up there first, or news first, or whatever you want to put up first. And then do the same thing for the rest of them, however you want to put them.
Oh,
And you can remove them down where you don't need to see them, or you can add some from the bottom. It's up to you. But like I said, be sure and click done, or it won't save anything. Okay, any questions about that? Okay. The next topic. Coming soon to an iPhone and an iPad near you. You're going to be able to use your mouse. Now, you're going to be able to use your mouse with your iPhone or your iPad. I'm not sure I need to do this. I'll have to see some demonstrations to understand how that is going to be faster than using my fingers. But we're going to have that option, and I'm assuming
It's already available for the iPad.
Huh?
It's already available for the iPad.
It is?
Okay.
Yes.
Really?
I didn't know that.
And do you like using it?
I think it will be helpful when I do iPad screencasts, just to show where I'm pointing or clicking.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see that. Well, the information that I found on the internet did not indicate that it was already available. And you have the iPad Pro, Nathan?
Yes.
Okay, it may
Not
just be
the newest one, but the like 2018.
And it still works on your iPad?
Yes. It
All
works on
right.
all the iPads.
All right. Thank you for sharing that, because I didn't realize that it was already here. Okay. Well, we'll have to see how people use that and if they like it. I've actually found myself going up, like in the drugstore, when I put my credit card in to pay for something, and then reaching out with my finger to try to sign my name, because I'm so used to doing it, and they just look at you, like you're
Like
5
crazy.
bottles, dozen, huh? Okay. Next, there's some really cool stuff that you can do with your iPhone that's going to make your life much easier. The first one is it will announce your calls. Does anybody use this?
Yes.
no.
Yeah, I love this feature, because if my phone is not within reach and it rings, it's going to tell me that who it is. If it's and it will tell you the name of the person if they are in your contacts list. If they're not in your contacts list, then it's going to say, I can't remember what it says, unknown or something like that. So to activate it, all you have to do is go to settings, phone, announce calls right here, and click on it. And you can choose whether you want to do it always, if you want to do it when you're wearing headphones in the car, never. It's up to you. It's completely what's going to make your life easier.
Nancy, do you know if the silence unknown callers overrides that?
Yeah, it will. It will override it. We're going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, it will. For some reason, there are people in this world who think that you're supposed to get up before 11 o'clock in the morning. And
Yeah.
most of these people are spam callers, and they want me to change my Medicare or whatever it is that they're selling this week. And they start calling me at 9 in the morning, and they go till about noon. So
Well,
I can
set up do not disturb.
Yeah, that's
On a
exactly
schedule.
I had forgotten about that, and John told me about it the other day. So we're going to talk about that too. Now that doesn't mean I can't go back to sleep after those calls come in, but I just don't want them coming in. So announce calls. If you like it, you'll love it. All right. The next thing is what else? It will let you respond to calls with the text. You can do call forwarding and call waiting. So if you, let's say you're somewhere where you don't want to take calls, but you don't want to lose them, and you still have a house phone, you can forward calls to your house phone, or you can forward them to your office. It's totally up to you. And call waiting will actually come up on your screen, and if you're on the phone, and tell you have a call waiting, and it gives you the option to activate that call. It lets your device show you who's calling, which is the announce thing that we were talking about a while ago. It can silence unknown callers, and it can block unknown callers. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of that. So if you can respond with text. Now, you don't want to do this when you're driving, but you could get a call, say, that goes to voicemail when you're somewhere where you don't want your phone ringing, and you can just instantly respond to somebody, I can't talk right now, I'm on the way, or you can type in your own message. It's up to you. But they make it very easy to do that, but you have to turn it on. So you just click on respond with text and make sure that you've got that set up. Okay. Call forwarding and call waiting. This tells you how you go to settings, phone call forwarding, settings, phone call waiting, and you have to turn those on. If you turn them on, now call waiting is going to be on all the time, and if you should get 2 phone calls at the same time, it's going to activate if you have it turned on. Call forwarding, you can activate it, but it's not going to forward calls unless you go to the second option where it says forward to, and you put in the number that you want your calls to be forwarded to. But that's a nice feature, particularly for people that, the first thing I thought about when I was looking at this is a real estate agent. If they're driving around showing a house, then I would assume they're not going to stop and take the call from somebody else, but they don't want to lose that call, so they can forward it. Okay?
Okay.
Next is showing caller ID. You have to activate that as well. And as you can see from the image on the right, you go to caller ID and you turn on the green sign. I really like this. I like to know who's calling me before I pick up the phone, or before I don't pick up the phone, as the case may be. So if you're not using it, but again, remember, it's only going to work for people that are in your contacts list. So one of the things that I discovered when I started using this is if I might be expecting a call back, say from my doctor's office, I had to be sure and add that information in my contacts list, because otherwise it's just going to show an unknown call, and I might not pick it up, when in fact, if the doctor's office is calling, as we all know, if you don't get it quick, you may not ever talk to them again. So if you want to turn that on, it's fantastic. And you can have show my caller ID turned on without having announce calls turned on, or you can do both of them. Depends on what you need. Okay, silencing unknown callers. This has some pros and cons. If you turn this on, then anybody who calls you and whose name or information is not in your contacts list are immediately going to be sent to your voicemail. That sounds good, except, and you have to figure this out for yourself. When I get groceries delivered, chances are 9 out of 10 times, the person who's delivering my groceries is going to call me on the phone and say, how do I get in your building? Now, if I have silence unknown callers, I'm not going to get those calls, and they're not even going to leave my groceries. So it's something that depends on your lifestyle, whether or not you want to activate this or not. So just think through you can activate it sometimes and then try to remember to turn it off, but I don't remember to turn it off. And so for my lifestyle, it's better that I don't have this. Was that a question? No? Okay. Next one is blocking unwanted calls. I love this. Every time I get a spam call, I block it. Now, I understand that those people who are making those spam calls are not calling me from their house. They're calling from some scammed phone number that they bought or leased or rented or whatever the heck they do. But nevertheless, I block them and they're not going to call me back on that number.
But they get multiple numbers, right?
Oh yeah, they do. I mean, yeah, it's a losing battle. I mean, you can see here in this middle image, number 2 that I've got here, this is just a parcel list of numbers that I have blocked. But there's a certain amount of satisfaction to blocking those calls and saying, okay, make something out of that sucker. I block them. I just don't want to give them another chance to call. But again, you have to make sure that it's really a spam call and not one that you need. So you go to settings, phone, call blocking and identification, and settings, phone, blocked contacts. Blocking and identification is going to, if you look at the image 3 here, if you set up a separate app that's not Apple to block calls, it's going to list it under call blocking and identification. And I use Mr. Number. I've used Mr. Number for 3 or 4 years. I'm very happy with Mr. Number. I'll explain why in a minute. But it's listed it 3 times because, I guess because they've updated the software. I don't know why it lists it 3 times. But this lets me know and lets the phone know, I guess, that I have a blocking and identification app installed on my phone. But you don't have to have that. You can do it yourself. If you just block contacts, all you have to do is this little square right here with this little black square. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm telling you wrong. Just a minute. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So this is how you block calls using what's built in to your iOS. And this has been around for a long time. So whatever version of the iOS you're using, this will work. So you click on the icon, you select the list of recent calls, you choose a phone number that you want to block. You click on the little I to the right of the number, and then you click block this caller. It's that simple. And they're going to stay blocked until you go in and unblock them. Okay? Is that, everybody got that? Now,
Yes.
what Mr. Number does is, the app is free, but it also has a paid version. What Mr. Number does is let you go and look up those numbers to see who's calling you. So let's say you wonder, I wonder if that call, that 800 number was from my insurance company, because they call all the time checking on me. And I would not necessarily want to block that call. So if I want to go look up the number, all I have to do is punch it into Mr. Number, and it will tell me who the call's from. If that's of value to you, then I highly recommend this app. If it's not of value, then you can block all the calls that you need to, just with what's built into Apple.
So it's only $15 a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is like any app, you get more benefits if you pay for it. And to me, it's worth it to pay for it. Okay, any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. Next. Unsubscribe from junk mail. This is a cool new feature, unless Nathan tells me it's not. But we've always been told it doesn't do any good to unsubscribe from mail that you get, because unsubscribing just gives them your phone number and lets them know that your phone number is real and it's attached to somebody. So we wouldn't unsubscribe. What this does, if your mail is if you're getting email from a mailing list, they already have your number. They already know that you're a real person, because either you've ordered from the website, or however you got on their mailing list. So if you go up and you click unsubscribe, you're not harming yourself in any way. They already know you're real. So this is a big advantage, I think, because if y'all get as much junk mail as I do, I was really glad, because I'd gotten into the habit of never unsubscribing from anything, because I thought I was just giving them more information about me. But with this, and again, it's only from mailing lists, but it's going to tell you that it is a mailing list, and it's going to give you the link to unsubscribe. So this may help cut down the 9,000 emails, junk emails that you get every day. Okay. iMessage stuff. You can really do some cool things with iMessage. It depends on if you like to do this kind of stuff. Sometimes you may just want to do it for a special occasion. Sometimes you may want to, do it for somebody's birthday or with your grandchild or whatever. But at least I want you to know that you can do it and how cool it is. So the first one is that you can send animated images in iMessage. Now, here's one. Come on, turn on. Oh, just a minute. There we go. Come on. There we go. So the person who gets this message is going to get that little feature right there. And it's kind of a cool way to say happy birthday or congratulations or whatever. There are a lot of built-in images, and all you have to do is select one. And here's how you select them. You start your message, or click in your message box. This is iMessage. You click on the A, the gray A, and then you come over here and click on the red, whatever that is. And you're going to get a whole list of images that you may or may not want to use. I'll show you a couple of samples.
It looks like a search kind of button, like magnifier.
Yeah. Oh, I've wanted to roll my eyes like that so many times. Here's another one.
Thumper.
Thumper sliding on the ice.
Thumper sliding on the ice.
So there's funny ones, there's serious ones, there's well-known people. It's graphics, whatever is suitable to you for the moment. But it's so easy to do that you can just go, you know, snap, snap, and you've got it done. Okay, so that's animated images. Now, you can send animated drawings in iMessage. And let me qualify this because I spent 3 days trying to get a good demonstration of this, and it's almost impossible to video a drawing because as soon as it starts, it's almost over. So this is the best that I could do, but at least it gives you a highlight. So this is an animated drawing. So and my daughter did that because I can't draw anything. But you can, you know, just draw something in there and it's gonna show it just like you saw it. It's gonna show each stroke just, you know, showing up in there. And it's kind of a cute thing. And like I said, if you draw, come on, you draw, it's a fun thing to do. Well, I can't make it again. Y'all just have no idea. You have no idea how hard
You
that
can do
was.
that on your watch too.
Yes, you can do it on your watch. Thank you for reminding me of that. I had forgotten about it. Okay, now the other thing that you can do in iMessage is you can send a handwritten note. Now, if you're on your phone, you can only use your fingernails. If you're on your iPad, you can use your fingernails or the Apple Pencil. And this is just an example. Again, my daughter did this because my handwriting looks like I learned how to write in 1945, and it's pretty bad. So, but you can write a note. Now let me show you how to do it. Okay, a couple of things you have to do. On your phone, if your phone is locked in vertical mode, you have to unlock it because you're going to need to turn your phone to landscape so you have plenty of room to write. And that's how you unlock it. Then you're going to open iMessage. You're going to choose whoever you're going to send it to. You're going to tap in the message field, rotate the phone to landscape, and write your message. And if you're on the iPhone, you don't have, it will work in vertical or horizontal. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't take long to do it. And here's an example. Let's say I'm sending this message and I want to write something in there. Well, down here, once I have my phone in horizontal, down here is the button that lets you do handwriting. And then as soon as you do that, you're going to get this bigger screen like the one that's down below it. And you actually can choose some of these messages that they've already configured for you, or you can do your own. And it's going, if I'm not mistaken, now let me explain. When I was putting this slideshow together, I could not create something and send it to myself and have it work. The only way I could have it work would be to send it to somebody else. But if I send it to somebody else, then I didn't have the image of it that I needed to share with you. So yeah. So you can go in here and you can write anything you want to. You actually can make it even bigger than that. It's just whatever you want to do. And again, it's more personal than typing. It's just, I just want you to know that you have these options. And
So you can write your signature at the end of it, whatever
absolutely,
you're writing.
absolutely, you can definitely do that. You can put in a drawing. You can put in, you know, whatever skill set you have. Now, there's another thing that you can do in iMessage and that's add animations to your messages. Now, this is not easy to do, and I definitely couldn't take a picture. But if you want to try this right now while we're talking about it, you can send me a message, make it animated, and send it to my phone number, and that way I'll get to see what you did. So you're gonna type your message, and then you're gonna hold down that little blue send arrow, and you're gonna hold it down. And then up at the top is going to be a box, and one of the options is screen. So you tap screen, and an animation option will appear. And then there's all kinds. There's balloons. There's exploding firecrackers. There's a heart. There's a broken heart. There's
Oh,
yeah, really cool things. So you just swipe to the left to see what the other options are. And now, if you send this to somebody who doesn't have an Apple product, they're not going to see the animation. They might see the word, but they're not going to see the animation. But it's really kind of cool. The one thing that I found when trying to do this is that if I was picking up a message that, you know, where I've had an ongoing conversation with somebody, you know, for 2 years, it doesn't limit the animation to the message I just sent. It's gonna fill up the whole screen. But if you're, you know, trying to, like my oldest granddaughter just got a new job, and I wanted to congratulate her on it, so I used this with the exploding firecrackers and stuff, saying, you know what, yay, because you got a really good new job. And it's just a way to, I guess, brighten somebody's day is the best way to put it. Plus it's fun. So anybody want to try it? Anybody send me a message?
Already sent it.
All right, let me see what it looks like. I got one from Heidi. I got one from Tom. Yep. Tom used the one that says all the messages. Yeah, I guess that's the only two. But it, again, it is a fun thing to do, and personalizes your you know, we don't write letters anymore. I don't guess anybody writes letters anymore. I don't. But and electronics can become impersonal. So this kind of will let you have some fun with it. Okay. Now I'm going to put this slideshow up on our website so that y'all can refer to it if you need to, but I am taking out my phone number. I get enough junk now. I jump phone calls as it is. All right, next. Your iPhone calculator has a backspace. Yeah, and like I said, who knew? I saw this on a tip on the news earlier this week, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. So I made a video. So all you have to do is just backspace it. Did you see how that worked? Let me do it again. So instead of having to clear the screen or eliminate everything that you've done because you've already added up 12 numbers and now you've got to do 13 and you mess it up. So all you have to do is backspace to get rid of it, and it'll save you some time, save you some, for those of us who can't add up 47 numbers in our head,
What is the backspace key?
like Tom, like my son.
What is the backspace key, Nancy? Which is the backspace key?
There isn't one. Let me show you again. Watch my finger.
You use your finger.
You swipe across the number and it'll backspace.
Yeah.
Oh.
watch it. Let me put it back in, and then you can watch my finger. And see, I backspace. Whoops, backspace on the 7. Backspace. You
Okay.
just slide your finger to the right. Okay.
Thank you.
Cool.
You are welcome.
Would you do it one more time?
Oh, of course. Wait a minute.
Yeah, because I could use that for sure.
If you swipe right to left, it takes the rightmost number off first, and then is the other
Does
way
it?
works too.
Okay. Thanks. I didn't know that. So now I'm putting in the numbers, and now I'm backspacing, taking them off the highest numbers back. But as Robert just said, you can do it from the right, and that's even better. Okay, is that enough? I mean, is that clear?
So do 789 plus 1 and see if it calculates out right.
Oh, that's just a video. I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But on your iPad, I didn't know this either. Let me do this. Okay, if you're on your iPad, it has a built-in calculator too, and it's just like what's on the Mac, where you get what do you call it? The thing up in the top of your Mac where the magnifying glass is, and you can look up stuff or you can do math. The same, you can do the math the same way on your iPad as you do on your Mac. So you pull down from the middle of your screen to open up the search feature like you would if you were looking for anything, and instead just type in your math question, and the answer will appear. Just like my plus sign got a little, whoops, a little out of whack. Oh, come on. No, I did it now. But anyhow, that's how you can do math on your iPad. And like I said, I mean, literally, I still count on my fingers when I do math. So any kind of an aid that I can come across that's going to help me is going to make my life easier. So that's my tips. That's the things that I wanted to share with you tonight. Does anybody have anything they want to share, or any questions that they want to ask? Nathan, do you have any more tips?
I'll add something. When you were talking about the magnifier, there is another way to get to that.
Yeah.
If you go to settings and control center and customize controls, you can add the magnifier into your control center.
Oh, okay. I think I remember seeing that somewhere. To me, that takes longer than punching the buttons, but it's nice to know that you can do that. And to get to your control center, remember you pull down from the top right corner to open the control center. It usually takes 2 or 3 times, but what?
Yeah.
Well, that's if you don't have a home button, that's what you do.
Well, if you don't have a home button, then you use the on and off button. You do it 3 times.
No, I'm talking about to get to the control center, you go from the top right down to get to it. Otherwise, if you have a home button, you just can click on it or you
go from the bottom up.
You wipe up. Yeah.
Swipe up.
Swipe up.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have anything to share? Okay.
Good really program, Nancy.
I appreciate y'all joining us. I'm sorry that we had the technical issues. Robert and I went through this earlier this week, but you know, he's stuck with my skill set, so I'll have to practice before I do any more. Now, I have a door prize for tonight. I have a $25 gift card to Amazon. I'll send it to you electronically. I have an app that chooses numbers. We don't have tickets, of course, but I've got an app that chooses numbers, and whatever number is beside your name, then somebody's going to win a $25 Amazon gift card, because at least with Amazon, you can use it right now. So somebody will get that. If y'all want some more programs with this format, let the board know, and we'll put some more together.
Might also mention that on the next Tuesday, the 9th, I believe it is, we'll have our regular Zoom meeting.
Oh, yes. Thank you,
I'll be sending an email out to everyone in the next day or two regarding that.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all have fun. Play with this stuff until you see what parts of it that you like is going to make your life easier, and you can disregard anything that you don't want to do. But you've got all these benefits built into your phone when you're paying for them. So the more that you can make your phone or your iPad work for you, then the easier your life is.
I just put the magnifier on my control center because I use it a lot.
Yeah. I do too. So then I will end this meeting. I thank y'all for joining us, and we will maybe see you visually on Tuesday. And I'll send an email out to the person whose name gets drawn. But actually, I'll send you out the electronic gift card so you can use it instantly.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. You're welcome.
Good night, all.
Thank you,
night.
Nancy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I guess I'll end the meeting.
Thank you, Robert.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nancy.